Is it true that to get to a certain level in Hollywood, these famous people have to sacrifice their firstborn child? Is that a crazy thing to say?
I've heard, okay, let me just say for the record, I don't know any of this to be, I can't prove what I'm about to say. If you ask me what I can prove, I can't prove this. Mm-hmm. But if you ask me what I believe, I believe that there is a club, and I do believe that there are certain people that to attain certain stature or certain level of influence or power, fame, whatever, you're required to either sacrifice a blood sacrifice, whether it be a mom or a relative or whatever, or transition one of your kids, because it's all worshiping their God, their false God.
So what are the signs that you see that make you think that that's true?
Well, how many, what do you mean? Just go Google your stars and see how many of them lost a parent or how many of them lost a kid, died in accidents or died during, a certain period of time in their life. Go see how many stars have transgender kids. Who do you think's pushing that? Where do you think that comes from? That is Baphomet. That is satanic.
You had an encounter with the devil?
Yeah, I got booked for a photo shoot. They took me all the way up this mountain. I was on top of the mountain. We finished the photo shoot. They have OD cars. Like, they got a 3-seater McLaren. They got a Ferrari. And I'm asking them, like, how y'all get all this money? They're like, we do demonic rituals. I'm laughing. No, you don't, bro. I'm like, how you get this money? Don't put me on. I'm trying to get like y'all. Like, nah, we do demonic rituals. I say, so what type of demonic ritual? He say, the Illuminati never talked to you. I'm laughing. Still laughing at him. Why y'all playing with me? How y'all getting this money? They're like, no, for real. Leonardo DiCaprio do all the initiation. I'm like, what? I'm like, who is that? What is you talking about, gang? He giving me a list of people who all did. I'm gonna keep it PG-13. He was basically saying, either you let them peg you or you do oral and you'll get whatever you want. Tell them what you want. If you want to be the next big actress, next big whoever, I can take you to somebody. And all you gotta let them do is do what they want to do to you just for a night. That's what he was telling me. I'm like, hell no, I'm playing. So I'm still not trying to believe this. Now, while they doing all this, I'm trying to call my Uber. We on top of the mountain though. I don't got no service. The people who booked me left. After they leave, I'm in the car with the other dude that they called up to have a photo shoot with me. I get in the car with him in the 3-seater McLaren. See, on the way up, we go all the way up in the swivel, like all the way around the mountain. Yeah. On the way down, we take a right. So he not going the same way that we came up. I'm like, what the hell? So then that's what I try him. I'm like, take me to go get some McDonald's, gang. He said, we not gonna take you get no McDonald's. We spent all this money to get you up here. This face change, gang. In front of me. You see Venom? Kind of like that. His face is probably about this wide. Like, face changed. I'm like, what the? Like, it's probably about like right here. Like, it threw me all the way off. I didn't know how to get out the car. I would have been got out the car. We in the 3-seater McLaren, so it's like a button you gotta push to get up out of there.
Gotcha.
Now he backing into somebody's driveway. He smack a mailbox. Now he hit the button and he get up out of there. I see the button. I'm getting up out of there too. I hit the button. Guess what? It's a mailman come out of nowhere. I run up to him. I'm like, hey, bro, we getting back your truck. He looking at me like, bro, damn. No. I look at him. I'm like, bro, just let me get in the back of your truck, bro. Like, please, just take me down to the bottom. Please, just take me down to the bottom. It was God. He took me down to the bottom. And I called an Uber and I just left. And the people on the camera, you ain't got to believe me. I don't care. I'm not lying. I really saw this.
I believe it.
That's what like made me know that the devil and God was real.
You saw the darkness.
I seen it.
And now you're in the light with Jesus.
This is why I have to use my influence for good. Like how you doing.
I'm going to explain how the sell your soul process works, and then you can apply it to the people you see who are famous to decide whose soul has been sold and who still owns their integrity and sovereignty. So basically, it's very difficult to become rich and famous in the world today without being gatekept. If you're on a sports team, you're gatekept by your sports team. If you say something you're not supposed to say, you're off the team. If you're in Hollywood and you say something you're not supposed to say, you're not in movies anymore. If you're on YouTube and you say something you're not supposed to say, they kick you off of YouTube. So you have these gatekeepers, and these gatekeepers basically offer you fame in return for not having certain opinions on certain subjects or not mentioning certain subjects at all. You're allowed to be a clown, you're allowed to scream, you're allowed to be a child, you're allowed to get kids interested in garbage, you're allowed to be an idiot, you're You're not allowed to talk about anything important on these platforms. And if these things are asked of you, you have to have official opinions. If not, you lose your access to these platforms. Because most of you at home don't realize that most influencers don't actually have the ability to make money without these platforms. I'm a businessman with influence. I'm not an influencer with a business. Therefore, I can be canceled and I'm still financially free. The average person who needs their YouTube, without their YouTube, nobody gives a shit about them. Don Lemon was taken off CNN, nobody gives a shit about him. If a big YouTuber gets canceled, nobody gives a shit about them. If you lose your gaming contract with Kick or Twitch or whoever, nobody gives a shit about you. You don't have actual influence. And this has been proven endless times. So it's very difficult for these people to lose these platforms because now they need to get a fucking job, which we all know they're not going to do. So they sell their soul in return for money, and the only reason they're famous is because they're propagated and pushed to the front by these platforms in the first place. Because standalone, they don't have any genuine pull or influence because they're not that interesting. So, primarily, most people are gatekept, and they know that if they lose that contract, they're toast. Financially, and they're also toast for their fame, so they shut up. If you are well known without being gatekept, and there are a few people who've done it, who've become monumentally famous, and well known without having a gatekeeper of any kind, without having a sports team or a manager or a producer or a platform or one of these things that promotes their fame. What happens is they come along and try and put you under a gatekeeper. So they'll come along and they offer you money initially. They say, listen, we're going to pay you $55 million. You're going to be more famous than ever before. You're going to get more views than ever before. Plus, we'll give you this guaranteed amount of money. But to make sure we don't rock the boat, you have to have official opinions on XYZ or not mention XYZ. And these things are basically the same things you see in the ESG scores. You're not allowed to talk about Israel. You're not allowed to talk about LGBT. You're not allowed to talk about the vaccine. You're not allowed to talk about trans. You're not allowed to talk about these certain things because they don't want to upset anyone. But basically what they're trying to do is neuter you. You sell your soul and you shut up and you don't mention certain subjects. If you say no to the money, which bothers them a lot because most influencers can't make money without these platforms. So when you say, I don't need your money, they're very, very confused as to why you don't want $50-60 million. Once you say no to the money, it becomes a protection racket. So the mafia used to walk into stores and say, people are going to break your windows. But if you pay us, we'll stop them from breaking your windows. And if you don't pay the mafia, they then break your windows themselves. It's exactly the same. They come to you and say, we have the leading PR firms in the world.
But like Stephen A. Snitch, okay, his best friend, Stephen A. Snitch, is a boule. Okay, I met him about 2 years ago at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. Nice guy, but he is what we call a house Negro. Okay,
what does this mean?
A house Negro is a person, a boule, that protects the gate of its master. A house Negro, as Malcolm X says, protects the system of its master. Stephen A. Snitch used to say, I'm so excited about making money for my bosses. Okay, so Disney, okay, pedophiles and ESPN. And if you are pro-Trump, they will fire you. Okay, another topic for another day. So then, Stephen A. Snitch is a boule.
Around out here. Y'all, they are fucking niggas around. They giving niggas some shit that ain't even what you think. You fuck around, wake up tomorrow, shit, ass nigga with a footy on, and don't know what the fuck you just did. I mean, real shit. Your motherfucker meat pistol fucked up and your ass hurting. You don't know what the fuck to say. You don't know who to tell. But this is what the game is going to. That's what it's going to. Then, here it is, it's time for a contract to come out. Nigga want to sign you for 5 years. You like, nah, dog. So you don't want to sign with us? Nah. Nah. Man, pop in the tape. Show this nigga what he did last night. I'm serious. Dude, this real shit I'm telling y'all though. Pop in the tape. You sitting that motherfucker like, man, what the fuck? Yeah, well, what the fuck? That's what happened. You got fucked. What you gonna do? You gonna sign that contract? You don't want nobody in the hood to see that shit. You don't want this shit to get out, dog. I'm telling y'all, and this is what I'm telling y'all like this. These niggas that you see constantly hot, they're not getting hot because they like to get hot. They're getting hot because they know what they done done. And they can't live with that shit for real. So, I'm telling y'all this from me. This is some real shit. This real shit I'm telling y'all. So a nigga tell you, man, oh man, I got fucked around with my contract. No, they ain't talking about paperwork. These niggas got fucked around for real. I'm just telling y'all, shit that y'all might be hearing for yourself, man, this shit ain't no lie, this shit real talk. I can say this shit because I'm a real nigga. Some of these motherfuckers can't say this shit because they already know about that goddamn tape. They on that tape. So they can't say shit about that shit. But I mean, they proud niggas' weaknesses because niggas be so fucking happy they about to sign some shit. Now they done told you come to a fucking mansion party. You don't turn down shit because you gonna feel like this is my family. I'm with these niggas now. You smoking on some shit or you done, man, drunk some shit. Nigga, you done forgot everything. Just like this fucking camera on right now. You don't know what the fuck done went on until they show you that goddamn tape. You gonna sign. You gonna sign. This is a shiesty, devilish game. And if you don't have no knowledge, you gonna set yourself up to be fucked around. So believe me, instead of trying to get to the A&R to get your fucking music together, you better make sure your ass ready. You better go at that nigga but have another blueprint in your head to be already ready what the fuck is next. Cause half these niggas you think niggas ain't niggas. These niggas is plastic pimps, rubber gangsters, and half of them like that dick. This some real hardcore shit I'm telling y'all in here. Some real raw shit. If y'all gonna get in this industry, man, make sure you be right. Keep fucking with these motherfuckers, man, right here, man, who got some shit that's gonna knowledge y'all. For real, y'all know other motherfuckers that's real niggas. You need to tell these niggas to come in here. So I'm telling you, this is some real law, I'm telling y'all. Some real shit from a nigga that's dead. This the only reason why No Limit is still an independent fucking label. Because we refuse to, man, get in conjunction with any of these niggas. We cool, nigga. We had real niggas on our label. We cool. Nah, we don't need your distribution. We cool with us. We gonna make it happen anyway, because we got a whole roster of hustlers. So we gonna make it happen. The streets gonna fuck with us regardless. That's why you don't see BET and all them fucking with us like that. That's this real shit I'm telling y'all.
Obvious one is occult practices, like obvious witchcraft and obvious devil worship. But people fail to realize that like, drug use is a doorway. And so whenever you have to have alcohol, drugs, you know, sexual exploiting activity happening, that's occult practice. You need some kind of substance. You need to be in a sort of state of mind to produce music. And you see a lot with a lot of artists needing to have this thing before they lay down or write records. So I would often see like lines of coke. I never did it, but my vice was smoking weed, because that was the thing that kept people a little more comfortable with me, because I always talked about being a Christian, even though I wasn't, you know, the perfect Christian. Like, I mean, no one is, but, you know, I wasn't living holy.
Yeah.
So I would smoke to make people feel more comfortable with my presence, so that it was like, okay, she's cool.
She's at least willing to go here.
Yeah. But the moment they pulled out the harder stuff, I was like, oh man, like you do this too? You drink all that too? I didn't realize you did that. Like people idolize and don't realize how empty these mega stars are. And I just don't feel like I need to say the names, but
sure,
just a lot of them. And so it was when I saw that, well, maybe when I get famous and when I get big, I can start to make it better or make it cleaner. I have no power, but this is like the lie. It's like, no, the more you go down this path, the more you're gonna give away, the more you're gonna be forgiving to the things that are not of God, the more you compromise.
I think that the industry is probably set up in a way where it's meant for that kind of compromise. And I don't know if it's always was that, because I mean, I don't have the history book of the industry, but there was like this co-oping that has happened within the industry that I see transcend into, you know, other parts of entertainment industry, the Hollywood, the acting. We see, and when you talk about the musicians, I mean, the classic examples of the industry getting to people is like Britney Spears. You know, I mean, it's clear that she was raised in the industry since a kid, and it got to her. And we can say, oh, she just went crazy, or the dark demonic parts of the industry literally got to somebody that pushed them to that limit. Right.
This is Darren Jason Watkins Jr., who has a channel with more than 40 million subscribers. But why am I starting the video about him though? Well, two things. We know he has a lot of young followers, that's pretty normal these days. But secondly, it's because of this foolish thing he did, and he did it while streaming live.
Y'all ready, bro? Are y'all ready? This can lead to a lot of danger. This can lead to a lot of bad things happen. This can lead to a lot of infractions, okay? So if anything bad happens, okay? You guys have to be ready to call the police for any emergency complaint. He's talking to me. He's currently talking to me right now. I hear his thoughts. I hear this guy's thoughts. I hear everything he's been through. He's telling me all these things of his life. I know everything exactly about this man. This guy is communicating with me with thoughts. Something beyond of human perfection. I hear this guy. I hear thoughts. I hear this guy. I hear.
One of the many clips of The Exorcists I've shared with you are the clips warning us not to play around with the spirit board. They come in by different names, for sure. But at the end of the day, it's still the same thing. It serves the same purpose, which is to communicate not with the dead, but with demons. And unfortunately, at least from what I see, a growing number of popular content creators are live streaming themselves playing around with these things. And I even put together this for you to show you that this thing comes by many names in different parts of the world. But like I said, whatever it's called, it is still the same thing. It is used by people to communicate with the demons. And things like that often drive me to share certain clips on certain subjects over and over again, repetitively. And now it's in our modern culture, and a lot of our young people are looking at this as something harmless. It's just for fun, just for clicks, just for entertainment.
Played the Ouija board and we wrote a song about it. So we wrote a song about pretty much everything that we did. Right. And we stopped playing the Ouija board because like we was sitting on a bunk bed and Lazy was asking who was going to die first in his family. And he was like, when he found out it was somebody that he didn't want, so he threw the Ouija board, and then they picked it back up, and then beds started falling down. So a whole bunch of stuff started happening. So, right. You know, we learned our lesson hands-on. And then when Eazy-E, he was like, y'all got to do that song, man. I like that Ouija song y'all did, man. And then he started talking backwards. And then after he passed, here comes the marketing and the promotional train, and here comes the company.
Now here's something that he said in this part of the video.
Threw the Ouija board, and then they picked it back up, and then beds started falling down. So a whole bunch of stuff started happening.
And it reminded me of something Father Chad Ripperger once said during one of his lectures before. So please allow me to share this with you here.
There was a case of a guy's house that was possessed by a demon. Later we discovered it was a demon of illness that was in the house because the woman that lived before he was there was a witch. And she tried to heal her husband through witchcraft, which just precipitated his death. That's real bright. And then in the process, the demon of illness got into the house. And so when these people moved in, so I said, we need to bless the house. Well, in the meantime, their dog, it was kind of old, but the dog just started getting really ill really quick. And what I discovered with this demon is he would go after the dog, then he'd go after the next dog. Then he was kind of like working up. He would take the lowest on the scale of things. Well, the way we discovered this too is I blessed the house. When I blessed the dog, the next day the dog was fine. Didn't have any symptoms. It wasn't dying anymore. So that's one of the signs that they can actually affect dogs and animals. And they can make animals vicious and that type of thing, although that's not that common. But they can also affect inanimate things, such as houses. Like if people are engaging in witchcraft or they're performing sinful actions or behaviors in there, it can actually open the door to the demonic influence. Suicide, things of this sort are very common, causing demonic influence. So houses can actually become possessed, and this can include everything from just affecting people spiritually, morally, how they feel. It can be just very subtle things. It can affect people psychologically. It can affect them emotionally. It can also cause difficulties within the family. And also when they get into the house, they can move things around, they can cause things to disappear, then reappear, and things of this sort. They can affect people, hurt people, that type of thing. That stuff isn't that common, but getting into the houses is fairly common today. So I always tell people, first of all, don't move next door to a witch, and don't buy a house from a witch. And and when you move into a place, find out what your neighbors were like and find out what the people were like that you moved into, the house you're moving into, because otherwise you might have some problems to clean up.
And another thing about this guy playing around with the spirit board, he seems fascinated by the whole interaction with the demon. And this is something I wish to highlight here with you. The demons don't care whether you're taking the whole thing seriously or just playing around. They don't care, and here's why. Please listen to this carefully.
Start doing some occult stuff. That's like giving a ticket to Satan. Start doing seances, start doing Ouija boards, start doing Charlie, start practicing magic. All those things are not from the Lord. And there's expressly prohibited in the Bible. And we see the results of it. We're picking up the pieces. of people who said, oh, I grew up in my family. We practiced Santeria. We practiced divination. We practiced tarot cards. This was normal in my family. Of course, now, 20 years later, people have all sorts of problems. Of course you do. Any sort of magic, whether you think it's good magic or bad magic, it's not from the Lord. And so where does it come from? Where does the power come from that witches use? And some of them do use real spiritual power. It comes from Satan, whether you know it or not, and whether you intend it or not. I know you don't believe it, but I'm telling you, we see it again and again.
Man, it's been a good day right now. I'm sitting on the toilet. I just met my band Neymar, and I met Kim Kardashian, and I met my band Ethan and Boppy and all of them. You feel what I'm saying? But
iShowSpeed might be losing his mind. I'm gonna explain what I mean by that in just a second, but I think iShowSpeed is the greatest streamer of all time, hands down. Speed's gimmick of traveling across the whole world, I don't even really think it's a gimmick, I actually just think it's a cool thing to be able to do, but it's accrued him this massive worldwide fan base that's really changed him from just being a big streamer to being a global sensation. But by the demeanor you can see at points of his stream and just some of the things he's saying, you can tell it might be taking a toll on him. We're gonna start with an article that dropped yesterday in which Speed kind of made his first cry for help, asking to talk to a therapist. But this is basically a clip of Speed saying how he's feeling and the fact that he's not in the right mental space currently, and yeah, take a listen to it.
Oh no, I'm like irritated. I'm very agitated right now. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. It's a lot. I need a therapist. I need to have a talk with a therapist. My mental is like, I'm about to go.
Now again, I think Speed is on a generational run, but it's the type of streaming that he does that I think would just be really mentally exhausting. The clip I'm playing in the background now is another quick clip from back when he was in Norway. This clip went super viral because this is really what Speed's life is. I feel like when you draw as much attention as he does and you're kind of on that 24-hour cycle of, I'm gonna go out and see my fans, I'm gonna go to this country, I'm gonna go here, and you don't really get a break, it's bound to start getting to anybody. I think that would just be normal. But Speed's pushing through, he's got big streams planned, like a stream with Drake in Toronto, but that brings us to today. Like I hinted to earlier, Speed's demeanor has been a bit sour, which I don't even know if that's a wording I want to use because it's justified. And the story today is much more to do with the fans than it is to do with him. This is ridiculous. Speed blasts weird fans driving dangerously next to his tour bus. iShowSpeed has hit out at weird fans for causing issues for his bus by swerving near it and almost causing accidents. Now for those of you who might not be familiar with what Speed's bus looks like, it's like a massive bus with his face plastered on it, so it's really easy to tell that it's him. But I don't know, people are so thirsty for attention that they think it's a good idea to try get his bus to crash. Like, I don't see what you gain from that. During his recent pit stop in Utah, Speed's bus had to pull over more than once because of the way fans had been driving. Not only were quite a few fans following the bus, but they were also spotted braking quickly in front of it and even trying to box Speed's crew in. And guys, this obviously brings us to the title of this video. Like, you can obviously see this isn't Speed's fault that these stupid things are happening around him, but if you are having to deal with something like this constantly, people attacking you when you're on the street, people trying to crash your bus, you're gonna lose it eventually. 2 weeks ago, the headline is iShowSpeed loses it with fans smashing window of restaurant he's eating at. A fan comes up to a window of a restaurant he's eating at and headbutts it, breaking the window. Last year, you got clips of hordes of fans jumping on his rental vehicles, which caused him to spend tens of thousands of dollars fixing it. And I know there'll be at least one person thinking to themselves, oh, well, he makes the money, tens of thousands of dollars, that's not much, but that's not the point. Speed's obviously chosen to go down the path that he's on, but I don't think it's a hot take to say that he has one of the most uniquely stressful jobs on planet Earth. Fight me in the comments if you think I'm wrong about that. In Amsterdam last year, he had an incident where he almost had to end stream because mobs of people are swarming his cars and trying to open the doors. Roll the clip.
Don't knock! Don't knock! Oh shit! Ah! Oh my god, wait! They fucking opened the... Oh shit! They opened the trunk! What the fuck? They opened the fucking trunk! Somebody open the trunk! Close the trunk! Close the trunk! Close the trunk!
He got banned from Houston Mall just over a week ago because mobs of unruly crowds following him around. Like, again, I fully understand that this is the path he's chosen to go down. He doesn't have to be the biggest streamer in the world if he doesn't want to, and even if he is, he can just stream from his house. But he's chosen to do the things that he's doing, and I think that would take a toll on anybody.
I'm unlucky that a part of my job comes with fame. I don't like that part of my job.
Why?
Because I don't need it, nor do I want it.
What's the cost of it?
People will never appreciate the beauty and the tranquility that comes with anonymity, the ability to write your story whenever you meet someone. You know? When you meet a stranger, let's say you're at a bar, at a restaurant, in a train station, wherever, you can look at somebody and you can say, hello, my name is, and you can tell them who you are. And what we never seem to realize as people is every time we meet a new person, we are writing our story from the beginning and from that moment in time. When you are now known, your anonymity is gone. People have a different idea of what privacy you deserve or don't deserve. I've had many friends who won't go out with me in public because they go, hey man, I want to have a meal and not be disturbed. I want to wear whatever clothes I want to wear without worrying that they'll take a picture of me standing next to you and then I'll look terrible. You know, I don't want to think about these things. And I get it. I get where they're coming from. I think many of the downsides of fame are the facts that, as my mom even puts it, you are now owned by the world.
Please don't fuck me over, bruh. Please don't fuck me over, bruh. I literally begged that man, bruh. On the Bible, man, I begged that man and his wife not to do me like this, bro. And they literally turned around less than 48 hours later and did me exactly how I wished that they didn't, bruh. And it's like, if I don't speak up and I don't tell my story and I don't shine light on this, bro, it's gonna be people still signed to them that can't get out of these deals because people be scared to speak up. And I'm getting DMs and texts from fake investigators and people trying to call me and tell me that they know where I stay. I'm getting told that these people are part of a bloodline and I gotta be careful with the attorneys that I'm dealing with.